p.m. Follow your book of enchantment around the museum for unicorn carriage rides, magic shows, mermaids, artwork that comes to life, and more. Make mythical art in the art space and enjoy refreshments. Family ticket packages start at $35 for museum members and $50 for non-members. Individual tickets also are available. For details and to purchase tickets, visit appletonmuseum.org.
LifeSouth encourages you to share the love this winter by sharing life through blood donation. The winter season is always a difficult time to collect enough blood to keep local hospitals stocked. So embrace the giving spirit and give the greatest gift of all this year. Give life. Your blood donation could help save as many as 3 patients at your local hospitals. Visit LifeSouth.org for more information and locations. Share the love. Share life. Give blood.
Yeah. All right. 24 minutes before 8 o'clock. 38 degrees out there. Believe it or not. Gosh, does it really feel like 38? Robin, did it feel that cold out to you when you were out there?
Yeah, it did. I wore my coat and I was cold. I had to button it up.
I must have just somehow gotten the thick blood again because it's not feeling cold at all to me. Just not at all.
It's warmer when it's darker outside. And then once the sun starts coming up, it gets colder.
Oh,
my theory. I mean, that's just my opinion.
So before we get into the serious stuff, have you ever smelled your dog's feet? Have you ever thought that your dog's feet smelled like Fritos?
Yeah, I thought they smelled like something, but now that you mentioned Fritos, maybe Fritos. Yeah, because of the pads on his feet, they just, ugh.
Ugh, Fritos smell good.
Yeah, Fritos smell good, but when you're, down there with your dog, giving him, brushing him and stuff, it's
down there with your dog.
Permeates.
When you're down there with your dog,
yeah,
smelling his feet. They smell like Fritos. So anyway, there was a story this morning with the story of the Toys R Us founder, Mr. Lazarus. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, I heard you say that. That's something.
And Toys R Us has been just having a hard time lately. Anyway, so I was thinking about the story we had a year ago, maybe, about how you could smell Toys R Us.
Yes.
You could walk into. Do you remember this? Does it like in your mind's nose? I guess I don't know how else to ask that. In your memory, can you smell like? Can you remember what it smelled like in Toys R Us?
I can.
Me too.
I can.
Me too.
I do remember that. I've got my head there right now. I can see the aisles. I can hear the kids. I can hear everything, and I can smell it. It's right there.
A couple places you know the smell of, right? Mm-hmm. You know the smell of a public swimming pool. If you were blindfolded and nobody was swimming, let's say, so you weren't hearing the splashing and the laughing and all that.
Right.
But you would walk in and you would know the smell. Probably the chlorine and the water and who knows what else causes that to happen, right?
Sure.
Recording studios. You go into a recording studio. I don't know if it's still the same because I don't know if they use that tape anymore, that recording tape.
Uh-huh.
But that, I guess, I don't know what causes the smell of a recording studio, but I always knew that smell. I mean, you could have blindfolded me. I could have told you where I was.
Yeah.
Another place, I'm not talking about restaurants. Obviously they smell like the food they cook, but...
Shoe repair shops.
Yeah.
When Rex Shoe Repair was open in Ocala Shopping Center, you knew that smell.
Right.
You knew that smell.
Or a tire store, right?
Oh, yeah.
The smell of
no
a
doubt.
Tire store. There was another one I was thinking. I asked one time somebody who came in here if WOCA has a smell. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, yeah. And so, see, we're so used to it that we don't smell it, right? And that same thing happens in your house. You don't smell your own house. There's a word for that.
Oh.
There's a word for not being able to smell your own place.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called olfactory fatigue. Let me find it. It was this article.
Okay.
No, olfactory adaptation. Olfactory adaptation. So everybody's home, everybody's place, every place has a smell.
Yeah, that's true.
Every place. It's interesting, isn't it? And it depends on what your experiences are in these places. So that the way aromatherapy, I guess what they call it?
Yes.
The way aromatherapy works, I don't know if this includes candles, because nothing really smells like candles except for candles.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a way to kind of augment the experience when you're doing the virtual reality thing. Mm-hmm. So they have this device that will emulate the scent of whatever. So if you're I guess if you're watching a a virtual video with those goggles on, and you're supposed to be sniffing a dog's feet. They'll put the smell of Fritos.
Isn't that something? That is so cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool. I love that.
Yeah,
that is so great. So that's the next level then. For the 3D experience, you just kind of sit in your chair with the glasses and the aromas, and it's like you're transported.
Yeah, why don't we just go places? But anyway, so science has a term for the familiar smells that make you feel good.
Wow.
It's a really great term, too. It's called the smell of happiness.
I love that.
The smell of happiness.
I love that.
The smell of a newborn puppy? You know how they all have that smell?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
puppy's breath.
We all have that same we have that same whatever reaction to it. Animals that would eat those puppies have a completely different reaction to that smell. To them, that smells like dinner.
Exactly.
In the wild, that's really true.
It is true.
That's really true. And nature has a way of saying, okay, some of you are going to be food. And this scent is going to help those animals that need to eat you. Nature is truly an amazing thing.
It is amazing.
I mean, it truly is. God is a genius, and he, and in His infinite wisdom, He said, you know what, those puppies are cute, but some of them have to be food for that lion over there, or that eagle up there, or something. That eagle's got to feed her babies. And then, of course, we love puppies, so we hate that, but that's just the way the world works.
Well, yeah, for sure. Gosh.
Anyway, that's what I tell you.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Something light to talk to you about.
I never thought about that.
Science explains why you can't smell your own house. That's the topic. That's the headline on the story.
Well, it's kind of like when I put perfume on. I smell it for an instant, and then I can't tell it's there anymore. And then maybe later on in the day, somebody will say, "Oh, that's what kind of perfume do you have?" I say,
but here's the thing.
I don't smell it.
Here's the thing. Somebody you love, and when we buy scents like perfumes, we buy scents, right? To put on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then if we are always with that scent, then people will say, "Oh gosh, that's the way my father smelled. That's the way my mother smelled."
Oh yeah.
Right. And so if somebody else is wearing that same cologne or perfume, and they walk past you in the mall, you go, "Oh my God, I was just thinking about my mother." You might not even realize it was the scent that triggered it for you.
Oh yeah, what a keen observation.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the weird thing is, the obnoxious odor of cigarette smoke.
Oh yeah, I can always tell when there's been a smoker.
But have you ever known somebody you really cared about that smelled like that? And then later on, you smell that smell, and you don't think it's obnoxious. You think, that's Uncle Joe or somebody.
Yeah, or if the person died, and then all of a sudden,
maybe that's it.
Cigarette smell. Then it's like, ooh, is my dad here?
Which is why I had an affinity. Is that a better word than affection? An affinity for diesel fumes. Not because of my dad, but because when I moved from the New York area, where there was diesel fumes like everywhere, and I came to Ocala, there weren't many really at that time, and every once in a while I'd be behind a bus or something. That smells good.
yeah. If I'm downtown on the square, Ocala Square, and I love all the gasoline smells, it brings me back to Milwaukee. I love that
Speaking
smell.
of Milwaukee, let's get into the news. There was a story out of Milwaukee this morning. I don't have it in front of me, but I can paraphrase it. The tax cut package from the president is increasing the numbers of jobs in Milwaukee.
Oh, nice.
I'm guessing other cities as well. It just happened to be a Milwaukee story.
Nice.
All right, let's jump into the news. Phone lines are open. A 37-year-old lady was arrested here in Ocala. She was selling drugs through the window of her home that she shared with her mother.
Nice.
So it was a walk-up window. I'll take would you like fries with that? I'll take some methamphetamine, please. Apparently, she has an addiction also. Our mayor and our chief of police have put together a really good program and a really good philosophy about this, which is to try to treat people who have these problems instead of incarcerating them. Now, in her case, she has been incarcerated. However, I'm sure she'll get the rehab she needs. She says she does need it. The police put a note on the window where people were buying drugs, giving them information about a local detox center. So I think it's a really good approach. It's a shame people get addicted to those things, but they do.
Yeah, and I'm glad that people will get help, because there have been some instances that people go to get help and they're turned away because they don't have enough money. So I'm glad maybe this will be, the start of something good here.
The gun laws that were signed into effect in Florida in the beginning of this month had, among other things, the red flag law. I don't know if that's what they're really calling it. That's what the news is calling it. But the red flag law gives police the ability to take weapons away from somebody they deem to be dangerous, and they have done that. I think Marco Rubio said in 3 cases. I have one of those cases. Listen to this guy, 21 years old. So he hasn't done anything illegal. Mm-hmm. He has not done anything illegal, but he is a 21-year-old student at the University of Central Florida.
Okay.
He put on his Facebook or one of those social media posts, "Cruz is my hero," or "Cruz is a hero," I'm sorry, referring to the guy who shot the kids at Parkland. He also put about Stephen Paddock. This is the guy who shot the people out in Las Vegas at that country concert. He said, "R.I.P. my hero. R.I.P. my hero."
Oh, my God.
University of Central Florida police were alerted to this. They questioned him. While they were questioning him, he told them that he was going to commit a mass shooting, and he wanted to target his former schools, Odyssey Middle School and Lake Nona High School.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So he came right out and told them that he planned on doing something similar to what this idiot did down in Parkland.
God.
And so because of the red flag law, they were able to take his weapons away.
They arrested him?
He was not arrested. He doesn't have any criminal charges. It's all talk. You have freedom of speech in this country. But into the state of Florida, you send up some red flags and the police have a right to take away your weapons. Now, that does not mean forever. He has a March 29th court hearing. A judge will decide whether the restraining order should be permanent. Now I know what you're going to say. The argument is going to be, okay, so you take the guns away from him. Can't he get them illegally?
Exactly.
Well, yes, of course. Mm-hmm. But at least it's something. And the other part of this is the word permanent. It's kind of like your permanent hairdo. It's not really permanent.
Yeah.
I don't know how long a permanent hairdo lasts, but a permanent restraining... 8 weeks?
Yeah.
Hey, same amount of time it takes to donate blood.
That's how long your mom's lasted.
Okay, so a permanent restraining order is 1 year. Mm-hmm. That's what they call permanent.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, that was in the news, and if you have any opinions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the thing. If you want to call now, I'll keep my eye on the screen.
Wow. Well, I'm glad he admitted it, because now the people that are around him, they're going to be, not around him, but they're going to be keeping an eye on him just in case. And those 2 schools are going to be on the alert now.
All right, listen to this story. What is your thought on this one? A 28-year-old woman named Rebecca Sanders had a baby. Mm-hmm. She is a member of the Miccosukee tribe down in South Florida. Okay. The father of the child is a white guy.
Okay.
His name is Justin Johnson.
Okay.
She gave birth to the baby at Baptist Hospital in Kendall, Florida, which is in Miami-Dade County.
Okay.
The Miccosukee tribe took the baby away.
No.
The mother told reporters that a police officer with the Miccosukee tribe and security guards, also with the Miccosukee tribe, came to the hospital room, took the baby, telling her she had no longer had custody of her own daughter.
Oh, my God.
Because the father of the baby was white. So they took the baby.
Oh, my God. Did she get it
No.
back? And the hospital personnel allowed them to come in and just snatch that baby out of there?
I guess so.
Oh, my God.
Senator Marco Rubio is aware of this, and he said the tribal police had no right to take the baby, arguing that they used the tribal court to kidnap the newborn from a hospital in the Miami-Dade County jurisdiction, which implies to me that in the Miccosukee tribe jurisdiction, they would have had the right to do that.
Yeah.
Holy
oh, my
cow.
gosh. So I'm so glad she had that baby in the hospital. outside of their jurisdiction.
Well, except for the fact that they got the baby.
Yeah, but now they're going to have to get it back. How can they do
Wow.
that? How can they live with themselves, ripping an infant away from their
When are
parents?
we going to start to realize that people are people? We have a hard time in this country.
Exactly.
We have a hard time in this world. It's not just this country.
Well, no, but we have to start here. We have to start in our own backyard and then branch out. Forget about the countries overseas. Just kind of pay attention to us for once and try to get this is a huge story. This is absolutely insane. It just is so disgusting.
So the federal budget is $1.3 trillion. $1.3 trillion.
Wow.
Florida lawmakers are heralding the funding that will come to us from that $1.3 trillion. I do have a list of some of those things. Mm-hmm. One of the things we're going to be buying is a new jet, a new Hurricane Hunter jet. It costs $122 million.
Nice.
The legislation also includes some measures that follow the Parkland school shooting. The Student, Teachers, and Officers Preventing School Violence Act, championed by Florida lawmakers, will provide grants to increase security and identify threats.
Well, they identified that one guy that you just had on here, so that's good. Pay attention to him. Don't let him fall in the cracks.
So if you want to comment on the money and the heralding of, we have now a lot of money. This is going to go till September. The budget doesn't last that long. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
All right. So $1.3 trillion. Let me tell you a story. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
I shared this with you before. When I was a younger man, I used to play guitar and sing in bars and then later on in colleges. I don't think I've ever really shared with you, now I know you know, Robin, but for the listeners, I don't think I've ever shared, why did I leave bars and go to colleges? Mm-hmm. Why did I do that? Here's the answer. It was more money. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot more money. Mm-hmm. A guy with a guitar singing in a bar is lucky to get $85 a night.
Yeah.
And that was back then, so it's probably more now. But that was $85 a night, okay? Mm-hmm. The colleges, and that would be for like a four hours of playing. You're going to play for 4 hours or something like that. In a college, you would do a show for 1 hour and easily could get $1,000, $1,200 for an unknown, not famous guitar player.
Yeah.
And that was then. I don't know what they're getting now. Actually, I sort of kind of do, because we were up there in Chattanooga a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think the numbers changed a whole lot.
No.
But okay, so here's the question, or the information I want to tell you. Why is it that colleges can pay so much money for a young person to come in and play a guitar for an hour? Mm-hmm. When the chances are there's 100 kids on that campus that can play guitar.
Yeah, right.
And sing, right? Well, first of all, it's because they have the money but they have an entertainment budget. Mm-hmm. Where do you think most of that money comes from? It comes from the government. The colleges get money from the government. It's divvied out in a lot of different programs, one of them being student activities. All right, student activities has a certain budget. Again, remember, this money comes from you and me, the taxpayer. And then they have to spend it. Otherwise, if they don't, at the end of the year, they don't get the same amount next year. You know what they get? They get the amount they spent. Mm-hmm. So they can never increase it unless they've used it all. Mm-hmm. All right. So what they would do is they would pay guys like me a lot of money. Now, to be honest with you, if I was asking for $1,000 back in those days, there's a good chance I didn't get it. But I would get way more than I would get at a bar. Mm-hmm. Okay? I did not even consider the fact that I was basically getting welfare. Why do I say that now as an older guy? Because that's tax money. That money shouldn't be going to a guy with a guitar. I mean, I was glad it did, and I'm not trying to say it shouldn't. Wow, maybe it should stop. I don't know. But the point is that your money gets spent. Okay, if they gave money to the college, that's not the private sector, but they gave it to me, and I was a private business. You see? Mm-hmm. So the idea that it trickles to the private sector is true, but it's very unequal. Now here's another thing. Going to blow you away. You ready for this? Back in those days, Linda Ronstadt was a famous recording artist. And Linda Ronstadt made a lot of money selling records in the private sector. But there's something interesting about fame. When somebody is famous, they can command a lot of money without having to sell a single ticket.
Well, sure. Such
is the example of Linda Ronstadt. And so many others. She would show up at a college, and I would look at the info, because I had behind the scenes information. She was getting $30,000 to play a school. So they would pay $30,000 of your tax money to somebody to play. The kids pay no money for the tickets. Sometimes they did, but usually they didn't. So the kids have a free concert. They've got a famous person on the stage that they hear on their radios, right? They got a Friday night out on the like Lake Mary or something up in Gainesville, right? On the outdoor concerts, right? They have an opening act. That would be me. Okay. So they pay an extra $1,000 to the guys like me, the unknown guys, so that they can have an intermission. The intermission is key to this, because the intermission is where they supposedly learn business.
Yeah.
Because this is where they're selling the beer and the snacks and everything else. So the question is, when you see how much is $1.3 trillion in federal spending?
Yeah.
Well, if you find out that's going to be used for the military, which it is, if you find out it's going to be used for the infrastructure, which it is, if you find out that it's going to be used for health programs, which it is, you say, okay, that's good. But then you find out about all these other programs, and you have to say, really? Is that a good idea? Should we really be doing that? Okay, now I, as a young guitar player, driving from school to school, oh my gosh, I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
It was just a fabulous thing for me. But the honest thing as an American citizen is this. And then before me, the famous person. After me, the famous person. $30,000. What do you think it is today?
Well, all of the entertainers they have for Gator Growl in Gainesville, they're paid, tens of thousands of dollars.
There's an example.
And the students love to see the entertainers. The politicians, Bill Clinton commands like $60,000 for a college appearance.
Right. So they do this because people will show up.
Yeah.
A famous person shows up, and therefore lots of people will show up. Now, do you remember when Vanna White was? We had the information about Vanna White. This was years ago. Also, she was at a grand opening of a shopping center. I think it was, and she also got $30,000 just to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't even have to sing, or she didn't have to turn in any letters on the board.
No, just look pretty.
But what's the difference? The shopping center was a private entity.
Yeah.
A private entity came up with $30,000, so a famous person could attract, thousands of people. And I guess it was an investment for them, because it just jump-started the whole idea of shopping in that shopping center.
Right. Exactly.
And that is something we should be in favor of. We should be in favor of the way we, as a buy and sell society, buys and sells. I don't know that when you have so many things that are needed, that we need to be doing what I just described. So if you have any opinion, I'd love to hear from you. But
I think you need activities like that, just like you say.
Oh, you do?
Just like you say, an assisted living facility. Where would those residents be without any activities? That's sort of the same thing.
No, it's not, because you know what? In a way, it is.
Yeah, in a way, because some of those facilities are not private; they're run by the government.
No, well, those ones don't usually have activities programs. But here's what is true. Is the money that pays for some of those facilities from some of those residents does come from insurance, which is private, I guess, for the most part.
And the students pay tuition to go to a college, so maybe some of that money is earmarked for other things other than the course. I don't know.
Anyway, so $1.3 trillion. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. A hostage situation in southern France is now just the hostage taker inside a supermarket with everyone else set free. Fox is told also that a police officer was shot and wounded starting all this, with 2 other people then shot inside that supermarket. Avoiding a government shutdown at midnight, Congress passes a $1.3 trillion spending bill to fund the federal government through September.
What they've done now is gotten this off their plate and can send this to President Trump. But you had senators who had legitimate reservations about this piece of legislation. One of them was Rand Paul, the Republican senator from Kentucky. He said, we got a 2,200-page bill and no one has read it.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. A firefighter's been killed in New York City and Harlem in an unoccupied building that was being used for a movie shoot. Michael Davidson had a wife and 4 kids. He was 37 years old. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. Lots of sunshine today. A nice day with highs ranging from 67 along the coast to 73 inland. Then clear Friday night with a low in the low to mid 40s inland, 53 along the coast. Saturday mostly sunny and warmer. High 74 at the coast, 80 inland. And for Palm Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds. High 79 along the coast, 85 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Is that couch cushion sinking lower every time you sit in it? Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory look or put your favorite sports team front and center, Captain T's Upholstery is who to call. 352-369-1810. That's 352-369-1810. Or stop by their location, 5030 South Pine Avenue in Ocala, just past the drive-in. And of course, don't forget to visit them on the web, CaptainTUpholstery.com.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front-end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Today in Florida Ag News from a Southeast Ag Net, well, House Farm Bill talks have hit a snag over the key issue of food stamp eligibility requirements. Top House Ag Democrat Colin Peterson is balking at a GOP Farm Bill proposal to add new work requirements to be eligible for food stamps, requirements that Senate Ag members are unlikely to accept. He issued a statement after sharing details with the panel's other Democrats that his members are unanimous in their opposition to what Peterson calls the extreme partisan policies of the majority. And Peterson added, this opposition will not change. The statement followed earlier warnings from him about changing SNAP.
The testimony we've heard last Congress was that while there are some areas for improvement, SNAP works. We heard testimony opposing efforts to block grant SNAP and on the importance of keeping SNAP within the Farm Bill. Those of us who've been around a while know that this is a complicated program, and I would urge members to keep that in mind as we begin work on the Farm Bill.
But Republicans, led by Chairman Mike Conaway, see a shrinking budget for farm programs, and SNAP is by far the largest program in the Farm Bill.
Going budget neutral, obviously there'll be no new funds. We'll have to come to some grips with resetting priorities, which are always difficult and hard to do, but not impossible. And we need to get this work started.
Conaway had planned to roll out a Farm Bill draft this week, but is still working to get it out this month. On the Senate side, Ag Chair Pat Roberts plans to start work on his bill next month.
Get equipped for anything with a John Deere 3025E compact tractor from AgPro. It's equipped with a low price of $139 per month, and we've got all the attachments you'll ever need. Request a quote at agproco.com. Offer ends 4/30/18, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. 20% down payment required. Taxes, freight, setup, and delivery charges could increase monthly payment. See dealer for details.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
All right, thank you. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center, and it's chilly out there. Let's see, the temperature right now. Is it still 38? 38. Still says 38.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Galen, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm in Ocala right now.
So is it, are you in a warm place?
I am. Still at home. It's one of those days you feel like, I don't know, my bones hurt. It's just cold. I can't stand it. Really sick of it.
Do you ever blame anybody for that?
For what?
For the cold.
The cold weather?
Yeah, do you ever blame, do you like... Yeah.
Wish I could. I mean, Al Gore, I think it's probably the main person to yell at. No, I mean, it's the weather. I think there's no use in people complaining about it, even though we all do.
So I was watching a YouTube video, and there was a lady talking about the inequity between men and women, and she was saying men never, ever, ever have to worry about an article of clothing going into the toilet. And I thought, okay, so
is this an issue?
You're blaming us? What? Robin, does this happen? Does like your shirt tail or something go in the toilet?
It could if I'm cleaning the toilet. It could flop in there.
Galen, does this ever happen to you? Your shirt tail ever?
Because I've got my shirt on the outside, so it floats.
This is a crazy topic. This is not the topic, by the way.
I don't understand the what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm the first person to admit I don't know anything about women. But, I didn't know that this was an issue, that clothing falling into a toilet was a big major issue.
I didn't either.
Glasses sometimes, they'll fall off your face.
Well, we've all
if
done
you're
that.
sweating.
And yeah, that's happened. That's more likely if you're standing than if you're sitting.
Well, yeah, but if you're cleaning the commode and you're bending over, all of a sudden you're sweating and the glasses plop off.
Men clean the commode though too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but this lady was saying articles of clothing. Not that the whole shirt falls in,
but
like
pieces.
the edge of her dress or whatever. It's just...
Oh yeah, because you really have to hike it up to
right.
do the deed down there. You really got to make sure it's up by your neck.
But okay, so I don't know.
Galen? Yeah, that does happen. Yes, especially if you have a long coat in the
Do you know what,
time.
Galen? I'm going to tell you. This conversation sets us up to mansplain. I am not going to explain to women how to make that stop happening. I'll let them figure it out themselves. They got to figure it out themselves, right?
What am I supposed to do with that information?
Fred and Wilma never had this issue. I don't remember Fred ever saying to Wilma, if you want to stop your little skirt from getting into the toilet, let me explain what to do. And then Wilma would say, Fred, now I told you know what I told you about mansplaining. So I don't have a topic for you, Galen. I completely forgot it, so I made up one at the last minute.
Okay.
You want to know what it is?
Sure.
All right. When your kids were younger and you went to Disney World, how long typically were the lines? Did you ever have a line more than 45 minutes long?
I'm sure we did. I mean, there were some rides that were just ridiculously long, but when you have little kids, you can't wait for them.
Okay. 45 minutes was what I remember. If the sign said an hour, I would always say to Alice, let's go, we'll come back.
Right.
When we went on New Year's Eve day, there was a 6-hour line for that one ride, and I thought, You kidding? 6 hours? No.
Yeah, the Avatar ride.
6 hours.
No way.
So
6 hours.
I know.
People were standing there.
And I like Disney. I would encourage people to go, and especially if you have kids, they're going to love it. But they got to do something about those lines. Fast Pass is not good enough. They got to figure out something else. So the question I would have, and here's the topic. I hope this doesn't do a dive bomb. I do have a backup topic, by the way. So if you have visitors coming from another part of the country and they've got their heart set on Disney, you don't want to talk them out of it.
No.
So they go to Disney, then they come back to you and they say, you know what, that was a lot of lines. Is there any place we can go that would be fun that has no real lines like that? Mm-hmm. What would you tell them? Where would you send them?
You mean like an amusement park with no lines? That's part of going to an amusement park.
Yeah, but not 6 hours. I don't remember.
Well, I would tell them, look, you don't go during the busy season. I've never seen a 6 hour line at Disney. That's crazy. I don't know how to deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 6 hours.
So you think it was just
like a brand new? Was it a brand new ride?
Brand new ride at
the Avatar.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
But the ride itself is like 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
7 minutes. You wait 6 hours, 7 minutes.
Yeah, I would never do that. First of all, I think that movie is incredibly stupid. So I wouldn't go on there.
You know what? I'm going to agree. Not that it was stupid, but it was incredibly simple. It was a very simple storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was stupid.
It wasn't like
the guy becomes some other thing that he was trying to kill. I'm like, okay. And it's the most profitable movie of all time. It's sad.
But I've never been to
like that?
I've never been to Legoland, but I don't know. That seems like that probably it's reasonable.
I've been to Legoland.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's good for small children.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean your child has to be under the age of like 10. Because after that, it's kind of loses its charm because kids don't care about Legos after that.
But what if it was like, what if you said, why don't we do the things that we did like when I was a kid? You'd do the beach, you do the park, you do the river, you float down the river. I mean, all those things that we used to do before there was anything.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought you meant like an amusement park.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean that's part of life today. So yeah, I wouldn't leave them out.
Like Busch Gardens, their lines aren't that long.
They're not?
Yeah. No. Well, yes, they are.
Shannon goes.
I mean, well, it depends on the time of the year, but
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Shannon's got a season pass. She loves going there.
Yeah, but again, I mean, amusement parks were a part of our life.
But I mean, like, you go to the Sanford Zoo. That's a really good zoo.
Yeah,
right?
The Jacksonville Zoo.
I know some people don't like zoos anymore, and I understand that, but it's nice to be able to see the animals.
Mm-hmm. It is real nice. Be up close and personal with them. SeaWorld, too. It's really nice. I know there's controversy, but that's a good place.
Horrible place. It's a horrible
That hippopotamus over in Homosassa named Lou, 58 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Lives in an area no bigger than this radio station every single day of his life.
Yeah. Yep.
That's his whole life.
His whole world.
And the guy must weigh 2 tons.
Yeah.
Or at least 1 ton. Right?
Yeah, I think they said 2,200 pounds or 2,600 pounds,
there you
something
go.
like that. Yeah.
There's a ton.
Yeah, because you don't want them to step on your foot.
We went to Homosassa Springs, and the woman said to me, we were looking at the manatees, and she said, "You want to see some manatees? There's a ton of them over the bridge." and I was thinking, a ton of manatees? That's got to be what, 2 manatees?
Yeah. That's right. It's not for.
She should have said, "There's 100 tons of them. There's 100 tons of manatees."
Yeah, exactly. No, the beach is perfect, that type of thing. But if you got to throw a theme park in there and the kids really have their heart set on Disney for one day, then, the people have to realize that there are going to be lines.
I think Disney's hurting themselves, though, by allowing those lines to get so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen a line that long.
Well,
it was that way.
I promise you
6
it was.
hours.
I promise you. We didn't go on that ride.
I'm not down it, but and I got feedback. But when you have a brand new ride, that's probably why. I mean, I'm sure when Tomorrow Man converts over to Star Wars, whatever they're going to call it, then it will be long. Because I know Hogwarts was long at Universal. But yeah,
I'd say I would
think
love to
that's
see
part
that
of
one.
it, is you want to be an early adopter, and therefore you want to go see it before everybody else. But if you go to when during one of their special times, like during Not So Scary Christmas or Not So Scary Halloween or Mickey's Merry Christmas, where they limit the number of entrants at night, it's fantastic.
Yes. Oh, I would agree
been there.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
we've
true.
been there.
That is true. Hold on, we got a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey, Hugh.
See, you're talking about waiting in line and all. What would you think would be the appropriate amount of time to wait in a restaurant before you're seated?
Ooh, that's a good question, because they've been getting long, too.
Yeah, 40 minutes?
I can hold to do a half an hour. I'm going nuts at a half an hour. My wife said we should wait a little longer. I said, I don't know when we got seated, but half an hour would be my limit.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends, if you're really looking forward to it. Galen?
Yeah, I'd go somewhere else.
Oh, you would?
Make a reservation. If you're really looking forward to it, just make a reservation. and go
Well, we went
somewhere
to, should I say the name of the restaurant?
Sure.
A pizza place. Went to a pizza place. And they told us in advance it's going to be a half-hour wait.
Yeah.
And they were pretty accurate.
Yeah, they were very accurate.
Yeah.
Very
Nothing
accurate.
wrong with that. I mean, and again, it's, if you really want pizza, no problem. If you go anywhere on a Friday or Saturday night at 6 o'clock, you're going to wait. Let's just be very clear. You're going to wait.
Have you ever tried to slip some money to the host? Have you tried to do that thing that they show in movies?
Mm-hmm. Seinfeld did a whole thing on that. No.
Did he?
That was a whole lot.
How did it work out?
here?
Did it work out for him?
Oh, they ended up in George. They never sat down because they called their name and they couldn't understand the maitre d'. And then George tried to get his money back. It was pretty
Oh God.
I've never tried it here in Ocala. I should try that. We should go to a restaurant that looks really packed and go there and see if we can offer them some money, see if we get seated right away.
There used to be.
Remember, it's usually like a high school kid. She would have no idea what you were doing.
Yeah, right. There used to be.
It's not like they have maitre d's.
There used to be. I have a little story about this. There used to be a pizza place across from the Springs Theater, and it was a Stevie B's kind of a place where
Pizza Inn.
It was called Pizza Inn. Thank you. And you got up and you got your pizza and you went back to your table and that's how you did it, right? A friend from New York was visiting and he liked to be a big shot. And so we go in there and he says, "What? They don't wait on the table?" And I said, "No, it's not the way they do it here." He goes, "Oh, I'll get them to do it." He hands a $100 bill to the lady. Says, "If you bring us the pizza, I'll give you another one." And
wow,
I know. So that lady made $200, and I'm thinking, you just threw away your money. It takes 2 seconds to walk up there and get a pizza.
Yeah. Wow.
So that girl made some money.
Yes, she sure did.
Are you ever a big tipper, Galen?
No, I don't think I'm a big tipper. I mean, I think I tip at least 20%, but not big. I don't have that kind of cash.
Before the break, we were talking about how the $1.3 trillion budget of federal money is sometimes spent. And we kind of said, okay, there are some things we understand. And then I went through the whole story of how when I was a kid, I made money in colleges. And ultimately, that is federal money or sometimes state money. But it's still government money. It's still tax money when a performer gets paid. Does the tax money that goes to a school, does that trickle down to the sports department too?
I don't know. I think it depends on how it's appropriated.
Because
sometimes they earmark it for a certain department, but it very rarely goes to the athletic department. It almost always goes to the, it may go to a vocational or something like that well before it goes.
But see, when you can sell merchandise with your logo on it, and you can fill 83,000 seats for a football game, it seems self-supporting to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it needs
that money.
Yeah. I mean, you sell tickets.
Well, yeah. I mean, are you talking about like at a high school or something? Or a college?
No. In college.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the college. But most of the fundraising done by universities through foundations is via their athletic program. That's why it's so important for them to win national championships and to do well on the prominent stage, because it does two things. One, it increases the number of applicants that they receive. Therefore, they can bring in a higher level of applicant. The second thing it does is it helps them in fundraising, because people are more likely to give to their alma mater if they're winning championships than if they're not. So, and when they get that foundation money, they have to give a certain amount of it to their athletic departments. That's why the University of Florida can redo their, whether it's rebuilding onto a football field or building a new weight room or something like that for their football players.
So I have a question. Let me use my music experience to ask you a sports question. My music experience is this: when I was heavier into the music world, the group Whitesnake was on the same label that I was working with. And Whitesnake made a ton of money. That same label had a symphony orchestra, which did not make much money, but they still produced those records. And so the CEO and the business people at the record label, they would always justify the records that didn't make a profit, because the money was used from the extreme profits that Whitesnake, am I saying the name right? They would make. Okay. Sure. So does that same thing happen in a college with sports? Does the football program literally support the lesser sports?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's Title IX. It's the law. Whatever money you put to a football team, you have to put an equal amount of money into a women's only team, like volleyball or softball. So yeah, that's a real issue.
And that money comes from the ticket sales at the football games, right? I mean, that's huge.
Well, it comes from ticket sales and marketing, and then also foundation. But yeah, I mean, that's the law that they put that in there. And now whether you agree with it or not, it's another level.
Right, but I would not disagree with that. That only makes sense to me. Is that Florida law or is that something federal?
Federal law. It's completely changed athletics and colleges, because if you think about it, that's why there's a lot of sports teams that are no longer played, because they were men only, and that's why there's so many women's sports now, is because of Title IX.
And you use the term foundation. Does that include taxpayer dollars?
No, these are donations, but there are taxpayer dollars paid for all of these stadiums that you see. I mean, it's offset by a lot of taxpayer dollars.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's why tuition goes up, which is, you could say, is a lot of it's paid by federal dollars through grants and things like that. So,
does the in your business, does the Red Cross is that funded by tax money?
Can be. Yeah, the American Red Cross has a designation that only one organization in the country has. And so they're not a part of the federal government, but they are an extension in some ways of the federal government. So yes and no. They say they don't get any funding with the government, but they lose roughly $45 million a year.
And in your case, in LifeSouth's case, I mean, you are a private entity, correct? Completely?
Well, we're a nonprofit charitable organization, yeah, but we have no ties to the government in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't survive unless two things happen. We have to donate blood, and hospitals have to buy that blood.
Correct, absolutely. Yep.
Well, and I guess part of that comes from insurance. I guess the money that pays the hospitals to pay. In other words, the money that the hospitals spend comes from insurance money from their patients, I'm guessing. Right?
Yeah. I mean, Medicare is the largest government expense. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that's why it's the largest tax that we have, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's the largest entitlement paid by the federal government.
It is interesting to
Medicare.
Follow the money, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So technically, LifeSouth is receiving taxpayer dollars when you sell blood.
Indirectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very indirectly, because it doesn't go to us that way. It goes to the hospital, and then the hospital covers it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It goes to the hospital, go to the patients, right, through Medicaid. So, okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way it is with the colleges, too. Mm-hmm. It ends up in the...
most hospitals get their money directly from the insurance provider. It doesn't go to the patient. the patient doesn't see that money and then pay the bill.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
so it goes
Right.
directly to
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah.
So every doctor, anybody who ever uses insurance in any way, shape, or form, then is getting money from the federal government.
Do you think we have one of the best health systems in the world, or do you?
There's no doubt. It's not even close. And people who say otherwise haven't been to another country or actually done the analysis of it. You know, a unit of blood in Europe costs 5 times more than it does in the United States.
Really, 5 times more? Wow.
Wow.
And
Think about that. Think about that. And they're half the size of us. They don't have that. They're half the size of us. So, you know, when people always talk about, everything's better like in Sweden or Norway or, you know, or France or even Canada, it's crazy.
So what do they do? They just have to bite the bullet and spend the money if they want to survive? Or do poor people end up dying?
No, it's just the wait times. You know, people don't die in the U.S. from waiting for procedures or surgeries because the hospitals cannot turn them away. What hurts is people go bankrupt after they've had a procedure.
So I like the way this conversation went full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about wait times again, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
there you go. Well, in Canada, you know, if you need a hip replacement, it may take you 6 or 7 months. So in the U.S., you can get it done in a week. It's just the access to healthcare is completely different in this country.
Well, you shouldn't complain about them driving so slow then.
Their tax dollars are in our community.
I mean, really, think about it again. They got an RV.
Stay there.
They came to Florida for a reason. They tried to get away.
Mm-hmm. It's when they pull 4 things behind that RV.
All right, how's the blood supply and where's the Bloodmobile?
We're right at a 3-day blood supply. We are in emergency need of type O, so just get out there, get the life and donate blood. And today, we're actually at the Walmart on Bahia Avenue out in the Shores. So come by and see us, and please, just give blood. We're going to be all over the place this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So stop in.
Donate blood.
An emergency need of type O, so come give.
You know what Robin told me this morning? She told me that a permanent hairdo that women get lasts 8 weeks. The same amount of time you're supposed to wait before you donate blood.
There you go.
So when your hair is ready for a permanent, go donate blood.
There you go. I like that.
Right.
That's cool.
A permanent only lasts 8 weeks. It just changes the whole definition of the word permanent.
It does.
Nobody does perms anymore, do they?
Oh, I've seen some ladies out this window that probably do.
Yeah.
They're usually here this time of day.
Yes.
The younger counterparts show up later on with the ripped jeans, but this time of day, those ladies probably have perms.
Exactly.
The mall walkers.
That's right. They do.
There you go. There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Galen, have a great weekend. Thank you for what you do and for being such a great talk show guy.
Yeah, you're amazing, Galen. You really are out there in our community doing everything so people can live.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys are the best.
All right, thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Let's take a little break, and thank you again. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA. I know I have a couple commercials here from Palm Garden. Here we go.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden, located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. A hostage situation in southern France is now just the hostage taker inside a supermarket with everyone else set free. Fox is told also that a police officer was shot and wounded starting all this, with 2 other people then shot inside that supermarket. Avoiding a government shutdown at midnight, Congress passes a $1.3 trillion spending bill to fund the federal government through September.
What they've done now is gotten this off their plate and can send this to President Trump. But you had senators who had legitimate reservations about this piece of legislation. One of them was Rand Paul, the Republican senator from Kentucky. He said, we got a 2,200-page bill and no one has read it.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. A firefighter's been killed in New York City and Harlem in an unoccupied building that was being used for a movie shoot. Michael Davidson had a wife and 4 kids. He was 37 years old. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. A 37-year-old Ocala woman has been arrested after an undercover drug operation led to the home where she was operating a walk-up window where she was selling drugs. Orlando and University of Central Florida police have successfully removed a UCF student's access to guns after investigators say the student threatened to commit a mass shooting at his former schools. Charles P. Lazarus, the World War II veteran who founded Toys R Us, has died at the age of 94. A child custody case in Florida has erupted in a battle between state officials and a Native American tribe after a couple complained that their newborn was snatched from a hospital by tribal police based on the fact that the father is not a Native American. And Florida lawmakers are heralding an array of funding for the state in the $1.3 trillion federal spending bill, including $122 million for a new Hurricane Hunter jet. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Ocala Aviation now has opportunities for flight instructors. Wait, hold on, Brad, is this correct? You're looking for instructors, not students?
Actually, we're looking for both.
Well, that's descriptive.
Well, I need flight instructors because we're now affiliated with a major university and can offer 4-year degrees. Plus, we're also approved to work directly with VA students.
Okay, so a degree in what, and what's a VA student?
Well, it's a bachelor's degree in aeronautics, which includes a commercial pilot's license, and there's financial aid available. By VA students, I mean veterans. They now have access to new benefits to pay for flight training.
Okay, so you have new opportunities for new students. What about the instructor side of it?
Well, with new students, we need more instructors.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So, if anyone out there is a flight instructor, I want to encourage them to come see me. And if they're not an instructor but have their commercial license, we can help them become an instructor.
So they get their instructor license and have a job too.
Exactly.
So you got a lot going on. The VA, the college, and now hiring instructors and future instructors too.
Yep. So now can we get the commercial started?
Already ahead of you. Call Brad to get your adventure started today at Ocala Aviation, 861-7484.
Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hi, I'm Russ Moore with Pack Mill. Our relationship with WOCA started in 2009. WOCA is family-friendly, community-involved station. When we moved to our new location on the 17th